or Puff. I'm the founder of Emotional Support Stuffed Animals on Facebook. My group wasn't made until the 25th of October when I finally decided it was time to make it. Its founder was my beloved grandmother when she suggested that I start finding my own people. Because when I was growing up, I didn't have a community like this. Like, this was still taboo in a way about bringing up mental health and using stuffed animals to cope. This group is made for people like myself who have stuffed animals for their mental health and other reasons, and to also bring them comfort. When I made the group, I had a perfect mindset that I wanted to make a safe place where people with mental health and other issues can come forwards and post up pictures of the comfort animal, the comfort stuffed animal, and not be judged for doing that. Because there is still a stigma of adults still walking around with stuffed animals, but it's not as much as it was years ago. My personal thoughts on the group is I believe most of the members on here are here for different reasons. Here to actually make friendships, long-lasting friendships, or they're here to have a voice, or they're here to be listened to, because people have their own reasons why they're here. Some people are here just for the community part, some people are here because they don't have that. The most important thing I hope people from the group take away from this is that they're not alone, that the group is benefiting them in their own ways, and I hope for the future that this will constantly be a thing and it grows more. What I would like for the future of the group is to impact more people and to make people more aware of emotional support stuffed animals in the world, and how they help people cope with whatever they're going through at that precise moment. My word for it, here are some of my members' impact stories. So, yeah.
These are some of my SSANs. They bring a smile to my face every day. I have been through a lot and am still going through it. They help my mental health anxiety so much. It's wonderful to be a part of a supportive group that gets it. Thank you.
The fact that this group made, connected so many people over one certain thing is very spectacular. I have a bunch of plushies that, help me support through the hard times I have. Without them, I probably wouldn't have been here. This Woody here, I know it's more of a doll, but I use it as a plush. Without him, I probably wouldn't have been here. Without my Angry Birds, my Sonic, my Mario, Luigi, all that stuff. Without these plushies, I probably wouldn't even be here. And it's so crazy that a lot of people have been connected by this interest of stuffed animals that support, they help them go through depression and stuff. It's really, I'm happy to be part of this group. I really am. I'm just, happy what all these plushies brought me. That's just what I had to say.
My name is Kat, and I am a disabled 23-year-old living in Michigan, USA. Today I'd like to talk with you about two things: a group and stuffed animals that provide me emotional support. Without these two things, my disabled life would be unbearable. With these things, I have been able to make new friends and receive support during crisis. They are very important to me. The group is called Emotional Support Stuffed Animals on Facebook, created by Nami. This group allows me to connect with others who have emotional support stuffed animals, Essas. With this group, I can also share things about myself and my own Essas. There are group chats for certain interests and a general chat for support. You see, this is a very unique support group. I have never once been judged or turned away despite using stuffed animals to cope, and most people in the group are like me. They also cope with stuffed animals, characters, or dolls as their S's. This group provides support, community, and friendship to people from all over, and together we share a common interest. S's. We just want to be accepted. The group is a safe space for this acceptance. As other group members have stated in the past, there is a stigma surrounding adults and stuffed animals. We want to break that stigma. Aside from the group, there are my emotional support stuffed animals with SES that help me through crisis, mental episodes, spaced flashbacks, mood swings, etc. There's nothing too special about my SS. I have 2 rabbits, a bear, and a flying cat. They are just normal, stuffed animals found at the store or left over from my childhood. However, the support they provide is immense. My SS stop me from hurting myself because I can squeeze them instead. With my SS, I can calmly go to the doctors or dentists because I'm not alone. They help me sleep at night. I have issues due to insomnia. They calm my racing mind when I hold their paws. They are always available to talk. They just can't talk back. They are friends to me. I love them like I love my family, partner, and pets. I just care so deeply for them, and in a way it feels like they care for me too. My main Esso is a childhood stuffed bear called White Bear. Then there are the bunnies, Confetti and Buttercup. Finally, there's Fluffy, the flying cat. As you can see, Essas have a huge impact on my life, and many others can relate. The group has had a huge impact on my life as well. I have new friends and a community to share who I really am with. I feel safe in the group and accepted. It brings me happiness. I hope this letter helps to open your eyes a bit on emotional support stuffed animals and how they can help us in our day-to-day lives.
Hello, Miss Naomi. My name is Paul Gilmore, and as you can see behind me, I've got a couple stuffed animals behind me, and this is in response to your video that you put on the ESSA Facebook site. Hey, I want to just talk to you for a few minutes and tell you how hanging out with my ESSA has impacted my life. Let me for you and your team and those who are watching. Yeah, she carries a strap, I know, but sorry about that. But here she is. This is Peg. She is a Build-A-Bear koala teddy bear, and I've been hanging out with this bear for pretty much 9 years, more or less. And she has been my ESSA that entire time. And so I just wanted to share with you guys how this has helped me in my own walk with depression. And let me show you how this goes. I'm a Christian. I'm a very religious fellow, so I'm not trying to push anything on anybody. I'm just going to tell you my story. You can do with it what you want. About 6 months before I started hanging out with my teddy bear, my late wife of 23 and a half years was very, very sick, and she was getting ready to pass away. And about 6 months before that happened, and I heard God speak to me. You know, I'm someone who believes I can hear God, and He speaks to me, and He says, "You know, Paul, you're getting ready to go to a battle with depression." And He said, "You know, don't run from it, don't hide from it, don't ignore it. It's coming, and you need to have a plan." And see, I come from an alcoholic family, and I know that alcohol and depression is a bad combination. It doesn't mix well. And I'm a cancer recovery patient, and I know drugs and depression doesn't work well. And trust me, I have plenty of those on board in my recovery. So I know I needed to do something. So I chose to start hanging out with this little character here. She belonged to me and my wife many years ago, and she's been around the house. And so I went and got myself a little strap here. That's this black thing that you see. She's my key keeper. She keeps my keys for me. I'm a neurodivergent. I lose things all the time, and so tiny things like keys I can lose easily. And so, upon not only having a carry strap to carry her with and holding my keys for me, it makes it a lot easier for me to navigate myself around. And when I lose my keys, I just got to say, if I find the bear, I'll find the keys. But also the reason why I was hanging out with a strap is so when I was out there in public, it was kind of challenging to go out in public with her in the beginning, but I moved forward anyways, and just trusting God, believing God. So I moved forward, hanging out with Teddy Bear in public, took her with me wherever we went. We did things called Monster Find, where we went out when we found things bigger than her, or things that looked like monsters, like if you're in Walmart and you saw these big displays and they had like the monsters from Monster Incorporated. Oh, that's Monster Find. Or we found a drink that said Monster on it, and so that's Monster Find. And then we went from there and we started playing what we called Pokemon Go, where I bought her a little rubber dragon and I bought her a Pokemon ball, and we went around all over the Midwest here in the United States, and when I was out there trying to catch this little Pokemon dragon. Instead of playing the phone game, we was trying to do it in a little different style. And the idea was to go out, to have fun, to not give depression a chance to even take hold. And Peg was there with me when I went through my grieving process after my late wife of 23 and a half years passed away. And so that's pretty much what we did. And when I told my pastor that this bear is going to be showing up at church, I says, she'll be on a backpack. So if people see it, we're good. He says I'm good with it. Later on, I started bringing my teddy bear into the altar services, where we actually got close to the altar, where we praise and worship God real close. He said, if you don't play with it, I don't care. And so it's called anointing, is what we call it. The anointing of God is what we call it. And when the anointing gets on you, we believe it transfers to other people. So I wanted anointing all over this little bear here. And I'll show you an example of what I mean by anointing. We have what we call anointing cloths. It's a principle in the Bible where you put oil on this cloth. It's a healing oil. According to scriptures, you pray over it, becomes healing oil. You put on cloths, you give to people, and it carries a healing anointing. On the back of her ear, I'll show it to you guys. Right there, that little pin, there's a little bit of, that's a healing anointing cloth. So that's part of her carrying an anointing around with her. And so the first thing we did for that year, we went hiking, we went camping, and we did all kinds of just little fun things. And we put it all on Facebook. We took pictures and we did little videos. And part of that was to just let, as my sister, who is a psychologist, said, I want you to see pictures of that teddy bear here, Paul, because I'd rather see you going around with teddy bear than drinking drugs or alcohol. That's important in this story. And this one here, that one's Bandit. Now, Bandit kind of had his own little story. He was found naked on a sawed-off telephone post by my new wife that we've been married almost 9 years now. And she rescued him and kind of cleaned him up. And then she introduced him and my bear one day at church. And then one day she's like, hey, my bear's got a present for your bear. So me and my wife Lisa, we took him to McDonald's out on a date. This bear, Bandit, gave this bear Peg a pair of shoes. So you're a nice young lady, and you know how ladies like shoes, and so we just kind of thought that was cute. And so we had to get them together again on a second date. And so the bears were dating, my wife and I were dating, and then when we got married, we just hey, let's just have a double wedding. These bears got married, we got married. One big little wedding at our pastor's house, and so we've been married a couple ever since. And then what we've done from there is that Peg and Bandit, myself, my wife Lisa, we've take our bears out, and we let people ask us, why you hang out with teddy bear? Hey, you know, that was a cool little bear. I mean, we had children who wanted to touch our bears, and you know, and what we was trying to do was we was trying to share with other people that you can, you know, we do this for mental health. We do this so that we show people that it's okay to have mental health problems, and you don't have to be afraid of it. We get people to laugh, and we got people to smile. We got people who say, "Hey, we just love your bears," and then we started making videos with the bears, so that way we could kind of have little 5-minute videos. We talk about the bears having an adventure, and in our adventure, we would have a storyline. Like our first year, we was looking for the Yeti, which is your everyday trials and inquisitions, and at the same time, we had a Build-A-Bear that looked like Big Bear, and we was telling stories of how we was out there all season long, you know, trying to track this bear down, because the story was the Bigfoot bear had stole Peg's Big Mac, and the idea was to try to help people to learn basic navigation, to learn how to trail, learn how to do basic things, and we was teaching them the groundwork for basic navigation, and we related that to navigating depression, because it's the same thing. When you're lost, being lost in depression is like being lost in the woods. And so we began to teach people the basic skills of how to rescue yourself if you get lost in the woods, and how it's the same principle when you're battling depression. And it's been hitting really well. And then we began to grow with that. And then we started collecting teddy bears. And when we get about 300 or 400 of them, we'll go out on an event. We'll set up like a vendor, and we'll just give away free teddy bears to people. Here, take your teddy bear. Here, God wants you to have a teddy bear. And what we're doing is we're just showing people a little bit of love and a little bit of compassion. And and people said that don't work. Well, yeah, it does work. We've done it. We do it many times. We do at least 2 events a year, and in that time, we've gotten people to take a teddy bear, and they'll stand there for 20 minutes, and they'll open up and they'll talk to us about their mental health with teddy bears. And me and this ministry that we're in called Peg Stealing Paws, and that is this. We had I'd gone to Walmart, and there was a girl with her caretaker who started talking about Peg. And believe it or not, Peg was wearing this dress, and she was wearing, not these shoes, but she was wearing this dress, and I could hear her talk about her dress. I could hear her talk about the shoes, and so I went over there to just say hi. That's kind of how it starts sometimes. And I knew the girl had autism. It wasn't hard to figure that out. And but I let her touch the bear, and she touched her dress, touched her shoes, and she's just talking like a tick to her caretaker. I mean, she just would not stop talking about this bear and her, right? And so as I went to go, they move on and head on out and do other things. The caretaker said, sir, you got to stop. You don't know what happened here. You really don't. And I said, well, tell me what happened. Now, Naomi, let me show you what God did. See? And I said, tell me what happened. And she said, sir, she hasn't talked in months to nobody. She's been as quiet as a mouse. Not a single word to nobody. And now she's going to go home to her parents this afternoon talking about your bear. Now, I'll tell you what, Naomi. People can say what they want, but there's a family somewhere here in the Midwest who's very grateful that their daughter was talking that day about my bear. And they're thinking, we don't know who this guy was with this bear, but our daughter's talking today because of it. And that's the effect that we find all the time. People, we see kids, we see adults, we see more adults than we do kids, and it just turns them on. And and I got a guy in our church who's been like, he's been kind of standoffish on the bear thing. This just happened the other day, and he's a Star Trek fan. And somebody gave us these teddy bears for our next giveaway. And one of them was a bear with a Star Trek emblem. And we just like, hey, we need to give that to that guy. You know, he's been going through some troubles and stuff. And so we went and we gave him the bear. And he goes, I already got 2 bears at home. I don't need anything else. And I said, dude, take a look at the bear. But it's a Star Trek bear. He goes, what? And I said, look, it has a Star Trek emblem on the bear. And his mouth just like this. And he just stared at it. And he looked to his friend who was helping him out because he's been needing rides and stuff. And he said, here, you take the bear, you hang on to it for me. And he said, thank you, Paul. And he took the bear home. All the difference in the world for that guy. Even if it was for 5 minutes, it made a difference in his world. And that's why I love working with ESAs, EESAs. That is why I love coming to your community like we did when we helped that one gentleman, and you set up a special page just for helping that gentleman. I don't know how well he's doing, but at least, you know, if I can take a teddy bear and, you know, because I tell people, God just tells me hang out with a teddy bear. Well, what's God do? That's not my business. My business is hanging out with a teddy bear. And people see my bear, and if God touches them through the bear, then that's God's business. It's just my job to every time I go out, I take a teddy bear with me. And so that's why I come to the community. I belong to multiple teddy bear communities on Facebook. I love your community. I love reading the stories of some of the people. I love some of the things going on with their lives and hearing how ESSAs are helping them. And I did the research on all this. I mean, somebody told me, they said, that doesn't work. Well, it does work. And biblically, it's sound. People say, that's not in the Bible. It is in the Bible. I mean, if you really want to know where it is in the Bible, Miss Naomi, you reach out to me. I'll give you the scriptures. But science says it works. I can give you all the notes you want. I can tell you whatever you want to know. I'm actually writing a book about it, about everything I discovered. And I want to tell you this, that we started doing this about the time COVID was running rampant through the world. And I can tell you that in the last 9 years, I've spoken to at least 8 different doctors, maybe 9 doctors now, 3 different psychologists. One of them's my sister. Another one's a really good friend of mine in the Army. One's a guy down at KU Med. I saw him the other day. Oh, you're the guy with teddy bear. Yeah. And you know what they've all told me? The exact same thing. Don't stop what you're doing. You know, what you're doing is a good thing. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You did a smart thing. Smart move, Mr. Gilmore. These ain't coming from people on the street. These are coming from real professionals in the medical community who are saying the decisions I made to hang out with teddy bear to battle depression works. And now I do it for mental health to help other people, and it works.